Hi everybody, so in this video I wanted to run through the reinstall process you can use on your Nitrado private gamer server for PlayStation or Xbox in a way that will maintain your edited XML files, because often you'll need to do this to wipe the persistence in your server. So what that means is, when you want to do a mod on your server, let's say you want to add in a load more cars, load more sedans or something like that, and you want them to, and you change the types XML, and you change the configurable spawn file, so they haven't got any damage, and maybe you even so they've got all their attachments on them, all the doors, all the batteries and spark plugs, and maybe you put stuff in the boot as well, and then you restart your server and the cars are still the same with like one door on and a wheel hanging off, that sort of stuff. The reason for that is because your DAYZ world has already been generated and is sitting there on your server in the databases that we don't have access to, we don't have direct access to, so it's all done. So just because you've changed some settings in an XML file doesn't mean that world is going to change. Now over time, as vehicles despawn because they've been damaged, or they despawn over time, they will disappear, but this could take a long time. Even for small things, even if like weapons, this could take quite a long time. So the only way we have, as of the 21st of February 2020, of wiping that persistent out and saying get rid of all those cars and spawn them in with the change that I want, is to do a reinstall. Now obviously this is going to wipe any progress that any players have. All the characters will be gone, but as I say, as long as you follow these instructions, you can hang on to your XML files. And in fact, what we'll do now is we'll go into my test server here, 1T scale speeder gaming test only test server that I've got, and we're going to go into here. Now the first thing you want to do before you do this is obviously you want to go to your file browser, and any files that you have modded, any XML files that you've modded in the missions folder, Chernerus obviously for Chernerus, and Enoch, is it Enoch for Livonia? You want to download them. So you want to click the little green thing and you want to download all your spawnable types and your events and your types files, so you've got them backed up anyway, because you can always re-upload them, can't you? But it might be a little bit of inconvenience. But let's say so you've done all that and you're ready to go, so you kind of stop your server so it's not running anymore, and you think, right, I want these cars to spawn in with all these Lars in the boot. Ooh, so excited. So then we go down to reinstall. Now this is the way that I do it. Okay, so I go back to the settings menu first, because what happens when you reinstall, it's going to get rid of all these settings, your host name, your server time multiplier, it's going to get rid of your whitelist and your password. But importantly, what happens when you reinstall is one of the first things that happens is this little box here, reset mission XML to default, becomes ticked. Okay, and as part of the reinstall process, what happens is if it restarts, or you restart it, all those XML files that you've edited that you want to hang on to will then be put back to vanilla XML files, which is fine when you want to start everything from scratch, but not fine when you want your mods to stick through a reinstall. So you've got to watch out for this, and we've got to untick it, and then we've got to save the changes as we go along. So let's pull the trigger. So let's click on reinstall, and then you'll see it'll start to reinstall. Or did I click it? There we go. Are you sure? Yes. Right, so now it's starting to reinstall. Now if we go straight down, right, so it's still unticked, so let's just refresh the page. Still unticked. It's good. Let's refresh it. Right, it's still got my host name on there as well, which means that it's still working. Hasn't got to this bit yet. Right, Nitrado game server, that is changed. So if we go down here, reset mission, see that tick is there, untick that, save changes. So we do that straight away. And now it's installing the server. We're pretty safe now. So what you can do now is you can go in and you can change your host name, scale speed of gaming, or whatever you want to put in there. Change your server time multiplier for days and nights, all the individual settings you have for logging. You can set your whitelist. Me at the moment. Scale speeder. Save that. Remember to go into your automated tasks down here and just set your restarts and get it set up that way. And then what you want to do is you want to go into the file browser and just pick a file that you know has been modified, and then just check that they have stuck. Normally they will have stuck, and then you can restart your server when it's ready to go. You can spawn in and you can find the changes that you have done, and they will be there. And this brings up an important point about when you're running a modded server, particularly on Xbox and PlayStation, the fact that because we don't have a local version of DayZ that we can play on our consoles, that isn't on our servers, we are having to mod them and test those mods in a live environment, which means that unfortunately, if you're an admin for a server and you've got people running around on it, it's very difficult to do lots of these mods, because they do require a reinstall to make them happen. And obviously if people are building bases and they've built up characters, they don't want you doing that. And the other problem is that you may well be doing mods right. You may well have gone in and edited your types files, so that you're getting green M4s should be spawning in. You're meant to be getting more VSSs and you're getting more helicopters, crash sites spawning in, but it's not working because the persistence file needs blank. You need a fresh start, and we just can't do that. So do bear that in mind, that the best way to install server mods like this or anything you're doing is to stop the server, install all the mods, reinstall, but keep your XML files there, fire it up again, get in there yourself and have a look round, wander around the map, spawn yourself in at particular places, have a look round and check everything works. And then you would then go, right, invite everybody in, put them on the whitelist, give them the password, however you do it for your particular server, and then and they would all come in and they would start doing things. It's very tricky to try and change these things on the fly while people are moving around, and obviously trying to enjoy the game. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully that shows you how to do a server reinstall and keep your XML files on DayZ Nitrado private gaming servers for Xbox and PlayStation. Again, if you've got any questions or comments, put them in the box down below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.